Hello guys, so how many of you have heard about MCP? Unfortunately, not Microsoft today. All right, so one person, I won't even ask two person, three maybe? Okay, awesome. I was going to ask who has built an MCP server before, but I'm done with that for today. So yeah, my name is Pedro Figueiredo. I work as a software engineer at Neon, which is a Postgres serverless service kind of thing. And I work at the backend as a service team. Well, I was relegated to the AI team this week, so not on the backend as a service anymore. And I will be talking a little bit about AI, MCP servers, agents, and how does all that stuff relate with each other. This talk will be half theoretical and half will try to do two very quick live demos. Hopefully those won't go too bad. So as any sane person in 2025, the first thing I did when I knew I had to give this talk was to go over Claude, which is the same as ChatGPT for one who doesn't know. And I asked what's MCP in the context of AI. This was, I think, yesterday. As you can see, there is Claude Sonnet 3.7 that was released like 3 days ago or something. And I was very surprised when I got this answer. In the context of AI, MCP refers to something that doesn't even exist. So AI was hallucinating already. That was good. And there was a bit of fuck moment for me. But yeah, we got it. All good. So this is just to show how bleeding edge MCP is. Like LLMs that were released 3 days ago don't know about it yet. So don't worry that you have never heard of it before. Right, so I went over to Entropic's website, which is the folks that released the model context protocol. This is a protocol, by the way. And they have this really cool metaphor saying, think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications. Now, what does this mean? MCP, the model context protocol, is trying to create this standard for us to input data, basically to inject external data into AI. The same way that USB-C came along and tried to create this standard for us to input video, charger, computers, sound, like everything. And how does this relate? How does this all happen in a architectural wise? It's actually pretty simple. We just need a MCP client. That can be usually Claude. It's the most common one that supports it. Then we just have a server in the middle that we are going to build right after this. And it's actually pretty simple. And that server just acts as a proxy for you to get data. That can be like, fetch my GitHub repositories, fetch the weather for Lisbon today, or anything else that you want. It can be what's in my local file system. It can be both local, remote, database, wherever you want. It's just a proxy. It's very, very simple, and you'll see how useful it is. Right, so what's the purpose of it? Why was it created? It was basically created to create a standard for us to provide context to LLMs and not have every goddamn AI person building their own abstraction that doesn't really work. And why did we actually need that way to provide context? It's because LLMs are great, they are very, very smart, but they are basically enjailed. They are within this cup, jar, whatever you want to call it, and they cannot access any other data besides what they know right now. So we need to open some holes in there and inject some external data. So if I ask an LLM what day is today, maybe they already know it, but if I ask them when is my birthday, I'm sure they will not know that, and I will need to provide that information if I want them to answer correctly. So how do you use it? It's very, very simple for them. Most times you just install a server locally. Nothing too complex there, doesn't matter. The next thing is we will check in Claude if we have our tools available. Again, just checking, nothing too complex. In here, I was installing our Neon MCP server just for showcasing. And then I just asked Neon, can you, sorry, not Neon. I asked Claude, Anthropic, can you describe my Neon project? And suddenly, out of magic, it gave me all the details. You have like this project, you have this database, you have wherever. And without this MCP server in the middle, this was like impossible, of course. How would it know? And now, how does it relate to AI agents? So AI agents, there are a lot of definitions. People say AI agent for everything. But what's really an AI agent? For me, an AI agent is something that is an autonomous system and can act and resonate according to what's happening and doesn't need as much human interaction to do their own actions. So AI agents before MCP, they were like less effective. They couldn't do as much for sure. Every AI agent created out there behaved in a very inconsistent way. Maybe you have two AI agents capable of getting your GitHub repos. Maybe one will have it returning JSON, the other will have it returning as text, and the other, God knows what, will return. And yeah, basically it's all about lack of standardization. Now that we have MCP and it's getting a lot of traction, we have new things. We have a standard approach that then everyone can actually build upon. We have a growing community of MCP servers. So now people that build agents the most don't need to be worried about building, oh, I need an agent for GitHub, I need an agent for Reddit, I need an agent for news. Because people are actually building this in open source, so they can just take it for free and they will be much better than the ones they were building. And it's kind of easy to build MCP clients, things similar to Claude that can use this. So here are some examples of products, agents, kind of, that are using MCP today. Claude was the first one, and then very recently we had Cursor adopting it, Windsurf, those are two code editors, and the other one is called Clyde, not so well known. Small summary, yeah, MCP is a standard for injecting external context into LLMs. Agents can do way more than just responding to the stuff they were taught with or they were fine-tuned with when they are released. And MCP really is just getting started. So after this presentation, try to build your own MCP server. You'll see how great and how easy it is. We'll pass on this and we will go with the actual thing that matters. All right, so here we go. Let me open this and let me zoom a lot. All right, guys, so we are starting with an empty canvas, which is always a good sign. And I did this demo today for the first time on my way here in the bus, and it worked one time, so I'm expecting it to work at least another one. So yeah, I'm just going over to the docs really quickly. And I know that I have to install some dependencies, so I'm just going to do that really quickly. So yeah, I'm using bun, and we really just need these two dependencies, and that's good to go. And now, yeah, that doesn't matter, and we are going to build your server. So we are going to copy-paste this stuff in, and I'm going to talk about what matters then. And this stuff doesn't matter. So we are going to delete it, and what this matters. So we need to create a server instance, and we'll give it a name. Today we'll be creating a Dead Jokes server. So let's call it Dead Jokes. Oh yeah. Who in here has never used Cursor before? Okay, so yeah, guys, please do yourself a favor and try it at least. All right, so we have created our server, and this guy is already giving me stuff. Yeah, let's go over here again, and now we just need, I'm going all the way to the bottom because this stuff doesn't matter. I'm just going to do the running server part. All right, so we have the server instantiated, very easy as you guys are seeing, and then we are just starting the server. Nothing to talk about here. Let's go to the cool part because we haven't done nothing yet. So the cool part is actually defining tools, and these tools are the magic sauce of MCP servers. Tools, as you are already seeing there on my cursor autocomplete, is what will give us the external context and inject it into the LLM. So I will try to do this without much help from. Yeah, so we are just going to say that we want a new tool. And now we'll just say what's the tool name, and I will say maybe get. This is hard with just one hand, but I'll try it. Get joke. And for most cases, the description doesn't really matter, but for AI, this is one of the most important things ever. Because if you don't give it a good description, the AI won't know when to use this tool. So it's fairly important that we give a good description. Actually, get a random joke is a good enough description. So let's write that down. And now the most magic sauce part, which is we actually need to fetch a random joke and yeah, let's return it. Yeah, that seems good, and that seems good. All right, just to, oh yeah, so we have built a tool called getJoke. The description is get a random joke. We are fetching a random joke from somewhere. And let me just see if this is right, but I think this is right, yes. We get the response, and we are sending it back. So I think everyone can understand what's going on here. So how do we actually try this stuff? We need to build it, and let me do npm run build. All right, let's see if we have a nice, oh yeah, we got it. And now what we need to do is we go over a Claude file and we register Elia. So we'll call it getJokes. This is just a server name, could be anything really. I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to copy this executable path, copy path. And I'm just going to lay it here, slash index.js. Okay. All right. All right. So getJokes, that seems kind of good. Let's try it. How do we try it? I'm just going to open Claude. All right. So let's look at our tools here. And I don't even know where that is, but there we go. getJoke, get a random joke from servers getJokes. Let's try it. Tell me a random joke. getJoke, right? Yeah, we need to allow it for at least for the first time. I'll just do it allow once. And Bad at Golf joined the club. Awesome. Everyone laughed. As you can see, it did invoke a tool called getJokes from the server getJokes. Just call it again. Another, please. Yeah, allow for this chat. And there you go. What's the difference between roast beef and pea soup? Anyone can roast beef, but nobody can pea soup. Okay. It's looking great. So yeah, as you can see here, this is just how the LLM decided to call it. It decided to call it without any params because we didn't say it needed any. And that's basically the response it got off our handler, our tool that we just wrote. Awesome. So that's part one of our demo. Nothing too surprising here. It was really just clicking tab all the way through, as you saw. Let's try to do something a little more surprising. All right, so let me zoom it. Okay, so this is the website I was getting the jokes from, but I was getting them from an API, right? What I'm going to do now will be completely different. I will go over to Cursor. Okay, awesome. And I will use the best model and Composer. Click here. For the ones that don't know anything about Cursor, I'll deal with it. We are going to use the agent mode. For the ones that don't know, agent mode will actually provide code, and if there are any errors, it will act upon the errors instead of just writing them. So as I said before, an agent is something a little more autonomous. And in here we'll say, please scrape, scrape this, get 20 jokes and insert them into my project. And now I think I need to feed it with a... sorry guys, there was something that I forgot about, which is I kind of need to give it... Actually, I will do it a bit different. I will go over here and ask for list my Neon projects. Neon, as I said, is just a cloud database kind of thing. So I will just get my databases or my projects, and there we go. This is what I wanted. I created this project just for today. And I will give it the name, and let's go over to Cursor again, and yeah. So basically I'm asking them to scrape HTML, get this jokes data, and insert them into my project. So let's try that. I'm not sure if it will be able to do it all at once, but let's see. So Cursor also has access to MCP tools, like MCP servers, like I told you before. And it's checking a lot of stuff, apparently. It's reading files. It's now, yeah, there you go. So first tool call, and it's scraping. This is another MCP server I have installed just to scrape HTML. And there you go, it did something. Now, it takes sometimes. Oh, there you go, it's already moving in. I need to get more jokes. Okay, sure, go ahead. Yeah, so it's doing stuff that I don't want it to, but it's fine. Hopefully. Yeah, for some reason it stored them in there.
Just a quick question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Also have access to the Neon MCP server?
I have those two installed. I have one for scraping and another for Neon. So this time I only have two installed. And it did a lot of stuff that I don't want it to, so I'm just going to stop over here. Because as you saw, it scrapes, but it was not going in the direction that I wanted. So I'm just going to copy this stuff. Right, at least it got the 20 jokes out of the scraping, which is like good enough. So what I'm going to tell now is actually we create a tables, a jokes table in my project. Hopefully it still can remember it. This there. Right. So hopefully it will understand that you will need to go over. All right. So it's going to like list my Neon projects, and then it will get that information. Great. You now have, yeah, sure. And now it will describe the project just to figure out that I don't have a jokes table there yet and there are no conflicts. And now it's going to run some SQL. And now hopefully this run SQL will be to create the table. Sure, let's create a table. And now it's going to prepare a database migration. Sure, that seems good to me. And this is the trick with AI. You just accept everything it says and you don't really read about it. And now it's calling run SQL again. You just go with it. Check if the table is there. That seems good also. Great. It was created. Complete database migration. Awesome. So there you go. Now let's insert the jokes into the table. So is it doing that? Is it not doing that? Yeah, there you go. Run SQL transaction. Awesome. So all of these that you are seeing here are tools that are created in the Neon MCP server, by the way. Awesome. To include the function to get the table from the database. No, I don't want that. Okay, awesome. It did a lot of stuff. Let's just check if it's there, actually. Okay, I have 20 jokes here in my Neon database. It just has an ID, a joke test, and a created at. Now let's go over to our HTTP server that I created previously, and let's tell it yeah, too big. All right. Get, actually select all the jokes according to my project, to my DB schema. Okay, so the guy is, or the girl, I don't know. It's not cooperating, so we are just going to do it by hand. So we are doing that, and I think, if I remember correctly, it's called joke text. From jokes order by ID, and we are going to return the jokes over here. That part seems good. And now the only thing that's missing is that in the index HTML, we have something to render those jokes. And I think we need to adapt it somewhere. Yeah, so in here it was joke.question. We don't have that anymore. We only have joke.joke. What did we call it? Joke test. Okay. So I think I'll just put everything in here. I don't even know. Hell yeah. Okay, let's open this. Copy path. And it didn't render. Okay, it doesn't matter. That was not the point. It should have rendered something. Let's just check if the server is running. I might have forgot about that. All right, so there are no jokes after all. So it was not a lie. What did you do wrong? So let's check that. Select, sorry? Jokes. I think it is right. Let's see if it's the connection string that we provided. Copy. Oops. This is the last try, I promise. Okay, let's try it. I'm going to reset that. I think I know what's going on. I forgot to reset the server. God damn. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. There you go. Amazing. Round of applause for AI. Yeah, guys, that's all I had for today. I think I had a slide saying Q&A, but that doesn't matter as much. If you have any questions for me, anything about AI or other, I'm happy to take them.
Hi. Just regarding like the beginning of the talk, where you're talking about the purpose of MCP was, kind of a standardized protocol providing context to the agents. What about because we have protocols in the industry that are like Open API or even the base HTTP protocols. All of their purposes was to do the same job, like pass the context to standardize the context. So yeah. So what's the difference between me using Open API versus MCP?
Yep, that's absolutely a great question that people that are very well known in the AI realm are still trying to figure out, which isn't OpenAI enough? That's like the big question. Open API, I mean. And the answer is Open API that people are giving is that Open API is one, too complex, and too related to HTTP to be able to serve agents well. And what I mean is, as I said, the description here needs to be very turned towards AI. It needs to, like the same description that you will have in your HTTP endpoints will not serve wherever AI needs. Also, OpenAPI has a lot of stuff that AI cannot have due to, security concerns or whatever, and we would need to do a subset of that just to use it within AI. So I guess that's like the answer. It could be used with that. AI would probably be able to take it and use the same way. People are saying it's way too complex for what we want right now.
Okay, so my understanding is that, so the purpose of OpenAPI is talking with resources, of the internet, of HTTP. So you have the protocols like get, put, post, but the agent does much more actions than that. So we need more actions available rather than just get or post resources. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess that's one part of it for sure. And I guess right now the MCP protocol is very, very, very small, and that's great for AI because AI, it's already bad in hallucinating with things. So the more things we put in the language, whatever you want to call it, the less, the more shit the bad it will do. And so if we keep this DSL as small as it is right now, we can train AI, we can fine tune it, and it will be fairly good in doing what we want it to do.
Okay, yeah, just one last question.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, can you give me like an example of what, compared OpenAPI versus MCP, like what MCP can do now that OpenAPI can't do? Like what isn't compatible with well designed for the agent? Like what specific actions?
No, I think it's it's the other way around. It's like, I think OpenAPI can probably do everything that that MCP can, at least just the inner protocol thing. But it can do so much more that AI is not ready to receive and interpret. That's the thing. Like the guys that created this protocol, I was in an Entropic talk last week, and they basically were telling that they really wanted to start small with a very concise protocol that only allowed very, very specific properties, and then they wanted to evolve in time with AI alongside it.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you for the cursor ad and the Claude ad, and yeah, I think Anthropic did do a really good job at like making everything open, and yeah, I think congrats to them as well for keeping that. But yeah, I found it very interesting, like the capabilities of the MCP server, and I guess congrats as well for the Neon MCP server, because I think you really showed the capabilities of it here. My question is, when do you think companies should create their own MCP server? Because I think that, yeah, in the case of Neon, it does really benefit because it increases people using Neon. But yeah, what are other use cases where you see MCP servers being good for the companies that...
Yeah, for sure. Like one very easy thing to say is any company that has a managed service should absolutely build one MCP server. Like it's so easy, and it's not that people are going to use it. People are probably not going to use it. It's just that you put yourself and your company into the AI space very, very quickly. Like just to say, Neon, we built this MCP server like 1 week after MCP was released. And we have so many people talking to us thinking that we're this AI genius guys. We were not AI genius at all. And yeah, opportunities started to open. We literally made clients contracts because of showing off our MCP server. It was amazing. And it's really getting started. So like managed services, like create projects, create databases, any cloud service that you have, try it. Other things, it's just tools that your company might have, let's say scrape data, let's say, I don't know, like, yeah, anything that you can think of. And I didn't say it, but all of this is local, so there aren't as many security breaches because you are just running your server locally. Yeah.
Thank you. I really see it like, for example, Excel might be really good.
Yeah, there is one very cool that I wanted to show today, but I couldn't, which is browser tools. And what it does, it connects to your browser tab that it's currently open, and it reads from your console, it reads the logs, it reads the DOM, it reads everything. Like you have your mouse on top of an element, and you just go to cursor and you say, I want this element to be round and not square, and it, boom, that happens. So it really is amazing, and a lot of cool stuff will start to pop up every now and there.
All right, thank you, and thank you for the interesting talk.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. All right, then without further ado, thank you all for attending. Thank you, Riskified, for sponsoring this event. And yeah, please enjoy the food that's out there, because yeah, it's thanks to Riskified. So thank you again.